Hey everybody, welcome back to another guitar review. I'm so thankful that you could join me today and watching this video, and hopefully you are doing well today. And here it's a little bit rainy. It's been rainy about the whole weekend, but it's still a nice day outside. It's not too hot, so that's a really good thing. So here today I have another guitar to review for you that I just acquired yesterday. This one is, as you can tell from the headstock, it's a Taylor 517E Builder's Edition. So this is a Grand Pacific. It's their, I guess, their second newest body shape they've come out with in the last couple of years or so. I believe this body shape came out in 2019, and it's basically Taylor's take on a dreadnought, on a slope shoulder dreadnought. However, from the interviews that I've watched from Andy Powers, I think he's kind of hesitant to call it a dreadnought per se, because I think he kind of feels that it's in its own category. But I guess it closely resembles a dreadnought, a slope shoulder dreadnought, kind of like a J45 or something like that. But right out of the gate, I will tell you it is not like a J45 at all, and that's not a bad thing. That is actually a great thing. It's definitely Taylor's own creation for sure. Um, Overall, I can just tell you I really, really like it. I wasn't sure at first if I would like it, considering I like the classic dreadnought sound. But I will say that once I got one in my hands, that it absolutely blew me away. I didn't expect the sound to come out of it that did. So just overall, I'm very, very pleased with it. I I couldn't. I highly recommend that you go put one in your hands and try it out. Even if you're more on the traditional side of things and you like to stick with Martin, Gibson, that kind of thing, those traditional dreadnoughts that have, historically been the example that all the others have followed. But I highly suggest that you give this one a try. Just give it about, play it 15, 20 minutes, and I think you'll really see the benefits of it. And you might even want to add one to your collection, just as a different tone, a different palette of colors you can choose from, musically speaking. But this is a great guitar. I mean, it's from Taylor, so obviously it's going to be very high quality build, and just high quality materials and everything. So let me get into a little bit about this one. This particular one, like I said, is the 517. It's the 517E, which means that it has Taylor's ES2 pickup system in it. They also make this in a completely acoustic version, so you can install your own pickup, or you can just leave it acoustic. Um, this guitar this guitar features a torrefied spruce top, which I thought was really, really cool. I've never had a guitar with a torrefied spruce top, or torrefied any type of top before, and I've been doing some research on just what that is and what that does, and essentially just in short here, basically what it does is they kind of, I guess they put the Sitka spruce top or whatever top in some type of heating process or an oven or something like that, some specialized piece of equipment that speeds up the aging process of the wood. It does something, I guess, on a molecular level, maybe something like that the fibers of the woods and all that stuff in there. I know it's something you kind of have to look in a microscope to see what it does. If you were to compare let's say, a vintage Martin from the 30s or 40s or whatever, if you were to take that top and look at it under a microscope today, and then take this one and look under a microscope, they would look very similar, because the process that this spruce top went under basically simulated those years that Martin had to age, the top on the Martin had to age. So basically, it sped up the aging process, and supposed to help it give it a more vintage tone, an older tone, a broken in tone. And I think it does work. I know there's a lot of debate on that, but I think it does work. And I do hear a difference between this and a 317E, which I had last year, that didn't have a torrefied spruce top. And I do hear a difference. This definitely sounds a little more mature and a little more open, and just nice rounder notes. So I think it's really cool. I think it's cool to have a guitar with that kind of top on it. But you know, I just because a guitar doesn't have it doesn't mean that I wouldn't look at it. You know, but anyway, so I thought that was a really nice touch. I think that's what they do on Builder's Edition guitars. They usually torify the spruce tops or the tops of the wood. So that's the top wood. Again, that's a Sitka spruce top, torified. Your back, you have a really nice mahogany back right there, back and sides. And I noticed on these Taylors, they put the strap button on the back of the guitar. And I believe it's because structurally they didn't want to put it here for some reason. I guess it's the way they designed the guitars. They didn't feel like it could handle being right there. So I guess that's why they choose that. I don't know why, you know, they didn't do it like the other ones, but that's just what they chose to do. And I think also because they said they wanted to give players a little more access to the upper register of the neck. You know, that's neither here nor there for me. I prefer it right here, but this is okay. That's fine. As I said, it has Taylor's ES2 system, so you have your knobs right here: volume, bass, and treble. We have a micarta saddle right there, which is standard on most all Taylors, and we have a graphite nut, I believe is what it was. Really, really nice here. The rosette around the sound hole there. That rosette is a mixture. It has maple in the middle there, and surrounding the maple is sapelli, and it also has sapelli binding, if I'm not mistaken. And most importantly on this guitar, this is a V-class brace Taylor, as the black nut here identifies that as such. So this is Andy Powers' creation. You know, this obviously the body style is his too, but the V-class bracing is his kind of his brainchild. So I have noticed a huge difference with the V-class bracing versus other standard X bracing. Everything he said would come from it, meaning the extra sustain, added sustain, better intonation up and down the neck. I really do hear that and I feel that, and there's something to this V bracing. I really think there is, especially in this particular body shape, the Grand Pacific. I know, if I understand correctly, he designed the V bracing around this guitar, or this was his first design, I think, in conjunction with the V bracing. And you can really tell because I notice the sustain that I get out of this guitar. If I just strum a chord and let it ring, it just keeps ringing out, and it's very, very pleasant. Whereas my other guitars don't necessarily do that as long. Also, the intonation up the neck is very, very nice and consistent. As long as the guitar's in tune from the get-go, you can move up here, up and down the neck. Man, you can't really... There's not going to be anything flat or sharp. It's going to be right on point. And speaking of the neck is a mahogany neck. This is a very nice neck. Taylors have always had very nice necks to begin with, but I think this particular neck it starts out as a very soft V up around here, the first position, but as you move forward, or as you move down the neck, it mellows out and it's more like a soft C-shaped, and it kind of follows the contour of your hand as you go down. It's very pleasant to play, very ergonomic. So again, Taylor necks are great anyways, but this one is even a step above because of the Builder's Edition. They do that kind of special neck for it. On the you have Ivoroid inlays here. These little arrow inlays there. I don't know if you can see that. It's really nice. And you also have Ivoroid Taylor inlay up there and on the headstock there as well. And just your standard Taylor nickel tuners. I'm considering upgrading these to the Godo tuners, and possibly might do that. These tuners are fine, but I've always wanted to have a Taylor with those tuners on there, and so we'll see if I can get my hands on some of those. Other than that, There's not there's not much left to tell you about it. Scale length is 25.5 inches. Again, I said V-class bracing. These do come from the factory with medium strings, so 13s, and those are elixirs, phosphor bronze. What I have on here right now, because this is all I had at the time, I have the Martin Lifespan strings 2.0. They're 13s as well, but I will be switching these out for elixir phosphor bronze, because I do think elixirs and tailors, I'm not a huge fan of elixirs, but I do think elixirs work very well with tailors, so I always use elixirs on tailors. But anyways, without further ado, well, I will say one more thing. You got an ebony fretboard and an ebony bridge over here, and because it is builder's edition, if you notice here, the edges around the bridge, they have been sanded in a way that makes them not pointy. So these are a little more rounded off. A little more care went into this because of the builder's edition. The edges here on the side are rounded off, really nice. They're not sharp. This is a very comfortable guitar to play. And the depth of this guitar is really nice. I think it's just a little bit skinnier of a depth than a standard dreadnought, but tonally, I couldn't tell. This thing is plenty loud, every bit as loud as the D18, and in a lot of ways, I feel it's better than the D18 with the better neck, the better intonation for sure. This is just a great design. I highly suggest you check one out. You will be, I think you'll be very impressed with it, and you may even want to add it, even if you're a traditionalist. So yeah, let me play a little bit more and let you hear what this thing can do. Yeah, again, I really enjoy playing this guitar. The neck feels great. Everything is great about it. I can't really think of any negatives to say about it. I think at this point, once you get to guitars in this price range, you're not really going to get a bad guitar per se. At this point, I kind of feel like it's just preference in what you're going after. And maybe in your case, you have a lot of traditional style guitars already, and you need to add something a little different to your collection. That way, you can have some diversity, and this will definitely do it for you. Again, great build quality, great manufacturer. Again, it's a Taylor, guys. It's gonna last you forever as long as you take care of it. And again, I think you should definitely check out any of the Grand Pacifics. They have a 717 as well. That is a rosewood back and sides. This is the mahogany 517 Builder's Edition. The 717 is a Builder's Edition as well. And then they also have the 317, which is the, I guess, more of the entry level into that. And that is Sapelli back and sides on that. But yeah, just check one of these out. You'll be happy you did. And you may end up taking one home, But again, I think this is going to be a really good guitar for Taylor once it starts to catch on a little more. I know because it has a lot of competition with, the more traditional guitars. But again, this is not trying to be a traditional guitar. I believe this is just I think Taylor's trying to blaze their own path in this style of guitar. And I think they should keep doing what they're doing because this is an excellent guitar. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time for another review. Bye, guys.